Hello, 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 and welcome to Manifesting with Ari Mack. I'm your host, Miss Ari McIntyre, spiritual life coach, affirmation aromatherapy, candle maker, and meditation coach as well. Thank you guys so much for joining me this February 26, 2026. It's 2626. Somehow I think that's interesting. Do you think that's interesting? I find it fascinating. Now, for those of you who have never been here before, this channel is about being in a safe place. Okay. I'm a spiritual life coach. I know how to help you effectively find your path. I don't predict the future, I actually help you plan it. And I do that through my skills as an astrologer, as an affirmation coach, and using aromatherapies. Because God gave us the senses, but we have to use them. I offer books. I have a new book coming out. Yay. Classes, one-on-one sessions, and just information. Because I think the more powerful the information you get, the better your choices. Now, Mercury, the planet of communications, is going backwards. Now, what is Mercury? Uh, oh yeah, okay. Um, okay, I just did that. Okay, okay, wow. Like, they keep giving me tools to when I come on here, things that I can do. So I'm trying to be like progressive and paying attention and then getting my thoughts out. It's work. I'm a work in progress. Anyway, okay. So Mercury. What is Mercury? Now we have 10 planets and 12 signs. That is not an accident. Okay, because two planets um, they share signs. Okay, Mercury shares with Virgo and Virgo and Gemini, which is one is air, one is earth, and then Taurus and Libra share Venus. Okay, so that's what we have 10 planets, 12 signs. The planet of communications, right, happens to be one of the closest planets to our planet orb, our or environment, um, our rotation. Okay. Now, as you guys know, we got the sun, the moon, Mars, Venus, all that good stuff, and Mercury. Mercury is the closest planet outside the sun and the moon. Now, what that means is that Mercury has an effect on our planet's gravitational pull when it is not working with us, meaning going in the same direction. Now, in a sense, it's just kind of sitting and not doing anything on a planetary level, but because our planet keeps moving, it appears to be going backwards. It's very fascinating. First time I discovered a Mercury retrograde, it made so much sense why things were going so wacky. And depending on what sign it's in, it affects the flavor. Think of it as if you cooked a meal, right? And if you are trying to make a sauce, you have that faux that's at the bottom of the pan, those little bits that has all the flavor in it. Think about that. Like you cooked a steak and now you want to make gravy, but somehow you may change your mind. Okay, instead of making gravy, which would be perfect with the beef drippings, you decide to add fish in. I'm not going to say it's going to be bad because it depends on the fish, but it adds a different flavor that was profiled for beef, not chicken. And that's how astrology is. You could determine your flavor based on how you position the planets in your chart. Now, I do natal charts, which is the planets as they were when you came down. But today we're going to be overall just talking about in general for each sign. I'll even give you some themes for each sign for the next couple of weeks because this Mercury retrograde just started today, which is February 26th. And it will not end to March 20th. So it's a good 3.5 weeks, damn near a month. So prepare yourself. Okay. Now, what I'm going to offer in this session is insight. Okay. For those of you who have been with me for quite some time, you know how important it is to be prepared, planning what's happening, planning so that you can go with the flow instead of beating your head against a brick wall because you want to do what you want to do. Yeah, no, that's not how the universe works. And see, once you decide to make a commitment to whatever it is you're doing, you start a chain of events, right? So that the universe can start bringing you what you're asking for. But of course, if you are not clear in what you're asking for, or even worse, not paying attention to your blessings, because they come in small steps leading up to the big step, right? Now, if you don't know how to, calculate that, I don't predict the future. I help you plan it. Okay. And I did create a program just for people who cannot or are not ready to do one-on-ones with me that gives you a synopsis each week of what's going on in astrology. And I break it down by elements, I break it down by signs. I even give you the best days of the month for you to make some plans with. Okay. Some aromatherapy, little affirmations, a very comprehensive weekly, like 7 to 10 days insight that's going to keep you moving forward because it's going to explain. Right now, those of you who have been through retrogrades with me, you already know in general retrogrades can be a mother. You know what I mean? A mother. Okay, and hit the chat room if you give me a thumbs up if you have been through a couple of retrogrades with me. Okay, this particular retrograde is in the sign of Pisces. Happy birthday to all my Pisces. I am a sun sign Pisces. My birthday's on the 8th. So when I speak of this, I am speaking from my heart with my experiences. Okay. Pisces is a symbol of two fishies swimming in opposite directions. Okay. Now, some fish, because there's many, many, many fish in the sea. There's like a shitload of fish in the sea, from piranhas to goldfish. Okay. And here's something ironic about fish. Goldfish is considered kind of like the malevolent of all of the fish signs, right? In theory. But I know for a fact that over in Balboa Lake here in Los Angeles, a lot of people dumped their goldfishes as they got older, got bigger, because, you know, they're only supposed to have a certain life expectancy, right? Well, guess what's happening over in Balboa? The goldfish, because they don't have any other predators that can really catch them, they've grown so big that they're messing with the ecosystem because now they're going after other fish that they're bigger than, because goldfish can keep growing, just like fishes. Pisces can keep developing. So I just thought that was a little ironic, a little twist there, that if fish left unchecked can grow to any heights. And that's what I'm talking about, especially to my Pisceans. My Piscean people, the last 6, 7 years, you've been getting pretty much your ass handed to you, especially financially, because it was about your using your resources, not just your finances. Because Pisces rules spirituality, which gives you an unlimited ability to tap into the universe for whatever you need. So it may not be an economic need, but you may need some help with some different things, and people will bring it to you or be of service to you. That's why Pisces can be considered kind of like the compassionate, the good Samaritan, because they will go out of their way to help another because they know already. Intuitively, that's one of their gifts, is to be able just to help smooth things over without making a big deal out of it. So with the Mercury, which normally rules Gemini and Virgo, being in Pisces, now Pisces and Virgo oppose each other. Okay. Don't worry about my terminology. I'm just trying to give you some insight. If you want to know more, join my GAP program. Okay. It's $9.99 to join. That's the intro price. Then it's $29.99 a month. And from there, you get insight, information, possibly discounts, and special events that we have going on. So you definitely want to join that program. Trust me. It's one of those things. It's like a chiropractor for your brain, because sometimes you just need to know some outside information. Trust and believe. Okay. So Mercury is sitting in Pisces, retro and like, Jupiter, the planet of expansion, is in Cancer, which is another water sign. It's also retrograding. So that's two major water signs retrograding. And for fun, the sun, where we are right now, Pisces, Venus, Pisces, Mercury, Pisces, and very soon Mars will be going into Pisces. So it's going to be a lot of freaking water. Now, what does that mean? You're going to be picking up on more shit than you want to. I'm just going to be honest. Piscean energy are like little sponges. You walk into a room, you can feel certain things. You may not want to address it, but it's around you. It's just one of those signs that in its high regard, it's very benevolent, it's spiritual, it brings peace, it brings balance. In its low regard, it is wallowing, it is draining, it is like constantly looking for drama. I mean, it's one of those things, depending on where the fish is where they're at. And how you do anything is how you do everything, right? So with that said, this particular positioning is not the greatest position for Mercury. Now, I'm not saying people that's born with this position aren't brilliant, because they are and they can be, but they do need a lot more focus because their intent is to come down to develop spiritually. Now, it doesn't mean they don't have life challenges and they don't go to college and don't have these bomb ass careers. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying though is their first impression usually is more of a empathic sense. Even when they read books, it's empathic. It's almost like they put their hand over information and just it pops inside of them. Now, on the Mercury side, right, this planet is normally ruled by air or earth. When you put water in an air and earth position that's normal, you're going to have fog. You're going to have fog. Yeah, things aren't going to be as clear. Now, for the satellites, I just expect some challenges. I'm telling you now, cut your computers off and cut them back on, leave them alone for a minute. Same thing with all of your electronic devices. I say always keep pen and a piece of paper close by because you still need to take notes. And it never hurts to have numbers written down, guys, just in case your phone goes out and you have to write, you have to call someone and maybe you don't remember. Maybe you've forgotten. Maybe you're just not, mentally in a good space. But if you have your written documents, which you could take a picture of with your phone, okay, and you can just keep that as a backup because you're going to need it. You're going to need it. Now, air signs, which is my Libras, my Geminis, and my Aquariuses, this is going to be really rough for you. And I'm going to give you guys each a particular theme, but let's put it like this, okay? I was talking to one of my clients, and we're talking about breaks. Now, she owns her own business, and she said that her employee needed to go take her break and get her brakes fixed or checked. I didn't quite understand how she was using breaks. All right, because I thought breaks like you're at work, you go take a lunch break, you go take a break, you just go chill for a second. No, she meant her actual brakes on her car. Now I had to stop because this happened yesterday, and I already know the retrograde was already in effect because I've been feeling it for 2 weeks. Okay, I've been feeling it for 2 weeks. And I had to stop and catch myself and start laughing because both the definition was being used properly, but we had two different interpretations of how it was being absorbed. I was thinking more her employee going on break. She was talking about her actual employee getting her brakes checked. Neither one of us was wrong. We just did it in different ways. That's how this retrograde goes. It's two fishes, guys, swimming in different directions. So people's mind may go way off chart than what you're used to. So I need you to keep that in mind. That analogy is probably one of the best ones that I've had in a long time because it's true. It is so true. This will be misunderstandings and misgivings and just things that don't make sense. They just don't make sense. And don't argue. Oh, please don't sit there and try to debate. I mean, my grandmother told me if you're going to deal with an asshole or jackass, excuse me, she said jackass. If you're going to deal with the jackass, they're not going to let you win. So don't argue with the jackass. If somebody doesn't have even playing respect and y'all have common boundaries, in fact, don't waste your energy. Don't put a damn thing into it. Give them permission to leave you alone. Notice how I said that. Give them permission to leave you alone. And how you do that is you pull back your energy. You just no longer lean into why and how come and what do we do. No, you just go, okay. Because there's no reason for you to debate, especially with Mercury and Pisces, because it's going to get emotional. It's going to get spiritual. It's going to get into ideology. It's going to get into what you believe and how you feel, which may not have a damn thing to do with what y'all talking about. That's where we are right now. So I'm giving you as much of a heads up as possible because this positioning is the first time Mercury's retrograding in 2026. We do have like 2 or 3 more. 2 or 3 more, I do believe. I'll put that in the gap this week. Yeah, because I'm working on that report that should be coming out tomorrow. So basically, in a nutshell, okay, we're deep into this now. We're only the first day in. Now, I do have a little gift for you. Okay, if you go to my website, candlesbyari.com, I will have the March astrology report, which is a free report. You just got to register, available to you. So you get a chance to kind of do an overview of some of the things I'm going to be talking about. I'm not going to go into details with every single sign because that's where the group activity comes in, the one-on-ones come in. But I will give you an overall view of your theme personally from my spiritual point of view that's coming up. Okay. Now we are at the end of February. Whew, 28 days. Wow. It's been a busy ass month. Okay. And um, as I look at this month, I'm planning for next month. Like I told you, I'm working on the free astrology report. That's a given. We have the gap that's coming out every 5 to 7 days because we need it. Then we're going to be having mindful guided meditations. Now, those happen twice a month, and that's like going to a chiropractor for your spirit. A lot of people in the meditation classes tell me they find a sense of peace, a sense of balance that gives them at ease so that they can move forward. Now, that class is twice a month guaranteed. And if you'd like to join, please go to my website, candlesbyari.com, because that is a special class. No one speaks in that class but me. And once you register, even if you do not make it to the class, I have a video library of all of my sessions. So you can receive a copy of that one or a past copy. And that's something that members of the GAP program will also be having a privilege of being able to have available to them at no additional charge. Okay. So look for that. I'm also going to be at the end of March coming back with the fragrance and color power class, just to give you guys a sense of what you can do with your fragrances, what you can do with your colors to create a positive vibrational pull around yourself, no matter where you go. Because once you can control you, I don't care if you're in Greece, England, Wisconsin, doesn't matter. You have that ability to tune into what spirit is saying to you so that you can make a better choice instead of making a choice based on fear, anxiety, lack of information. I find a lot of times people are doing gatekeeping, all right, or misleading people. And if you can't do your own research, find a valid source. Okay, find somebody who is doing that particular field or that particular disposition, because you need to be informed more than anything else before you start making long-term decisions. Now, that's just my own 2 cents. I find when you don't pay attention to yourself and you don't put time in understanding what's happening around you, poor choices can be made. And with this retro, man, it's going to be a booger bear. I'm just telling you right now, it's starting off with some shit, and I've seen it. And like, I'm gonna give you some ideas here. I just gave you the little break suggestion, so please keep that in mind. But starting with, let's just say Aries. Saturn just moved into Aries. Neptune is in Aries. Saturn and Neptune rule discipline, jobs, careers. Neptune uses rules dreaming, and we put it in Aries, a fire sign. So it's going to go into your deep conscious, Aries. And if you don't like what you're seeing or what you're doing, it's going to be one of those battles of the, I call it, um, shit, I forgot what I called it. But basically, hey, there's a lot going on in this noggin, okay? But basically, it's the dark nights of the souls. That's what it's called, the dark nights of the soul. And that's when you have to come to reckoning with whatever it is that you wanted to do and what you're doing. And for Aries, this is going to be big because these planets are not leaving you, Aries, for the rest of this year. So you have a long haul because these planets, Saturn and Neptune, don't move that often. So you might as well get comfortable with being uncomfortable about where you're going. Yeah, until you lock in on your dream and commit the time, the energy, the faith, you're going to be going around in a bit of circles. Okay, Aries? It's not a bad thing. Now, if you have a dream on the other side and you are moving toward a focus, it will be a very smooth transition because you'll start moving away from stuff that does not work anymore. Okay. But if you're not clear, this is the time to do research, redevelopment, reignite your interest in some passions. I mean, it's time to go back and do some reviewing. Okay, Aries? If you do, you may find where things could change and where you can do better. Okay. Now, my Tauruses. Now, you're going to have to review your long term goals during this period. Yeah. Because you may have been thinking a certain way. And it's so funny because I have a lot of Tauruses that I work with, and they are very focused, very dogmatic, and will be very committed to their goals. Problem is that when things start changing, they still want to keep the same pace. I'm telling you, Taurus, during this retrograde, let go and let God. Okay, do some revisiting, do some revising, but mostly I need you to really stop beating yourself up about what you can't do. I need you to look at what's working. Okay, Taurus? Don't let your mind get caught up in the goals, aspirations, the family dramas. Those are going to be there. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be insensitive, but You have to make sure, Taurus, that you're not falling into depression, because your energy will be overtaxed and then you won't have anything left for self. So revisit, revitalize yourself. I told you guys a couple months ago you should be working on home, making sure things are cush and nice. This is a time when you can use a very nice, comfortable, soft space. Maybe start some candles, get a good meal. Stock up on the stuff that you like, Taurus, because that'll give you a sense of satisfaction. So if you have a favorite ice cream or something like that, please go get it, put it in the freezer just to have it on deck. Now, for the high end Tauruses, this is going to be a transition and they're going to flow with it. It will be a little rough because, like I said, you have a certain way, a certain rhythm of how you want things done, and that may not be happening. For the low end Tauruses, this is going to be rocky because you guys are stubborn as all hell. So if you keep trying to go up the mountain and the mountain keeps moving and it's raining and everything keeps going wrong, that's the universe telling you to leave that mountain alone. But the low end Tauruses, they got to go through their process and do what they got to do. So we bless you. Good luck. Now, for my Gemini, you really need to work on your communications at work because you got some big communication issues with work. Okay. You've probably overextended yourself. Maybe you've said too many things that you cannot back up. And I've been talking to Gemini about this for a while. Just your need to keep talking and keep talking and keep talking when you need to hush. You just need to hush. According to what I'm seeing, you got some big, gigantic people coming towards you because of the things that you've said. I would try to take responsibility and negotiate. If you don't, it could end up not in your favor. Okay, Gemini, I mean, on the high end, you can learn from what you've done wrong. Okay, most people, when they admit they've done something wrong, they humble themselves, and that makes the tension go down because you're recognizing you made a mistake, which is healthy. That's healthy. On the low end Geminis, they keep lying, they keep trying to reiterate, they keep reflecting, deflecting, pretending like they don't know what's going on, and it just makes people not trust you. And once you lose people's faith in you, it is a sad place because they'll talk to you, but they won't believe a damn thing you say. They won't prepare for anything that you suggest because, well, you're a liar. You've broken their trust. And by breaking trust, you pretty much have broken the bond of like human care. I mean, to a certain degree, they have to tune you out. So, Gemini, just make sure you've been writing stuff down. Okay. Because this retrograde is going to hit you harder than most of the mutables because this is normally your sun's planet's position and it's in Pisces. Woo, so much water. Now for my cancers, okay, you got Jupiter, the planet of expansion, been sitting in Cancer for the last year. You got it up till June or July, and it's going to go forward. It's going to move into, and it's still in retrograde. Retrograde ends on the 10th. Okay, ends on the 10th of March. So you got some reprieves coming. I've been telling you to do things about your house and things like that. But when retrograde ends for Jupiter, okay, because Jupiter's going to be attached to this Mercury Pisces thing, you guys need to think about traveling. You may run across some delays, misunderstandings. Maybe people buy tickets or something to that effect and then change their mind. You may have a problem with exchange. Don't trip it. Don't trip it. This is to make sure you're going in the right direction. Think of it as a checks and balance. Okay, Cancer? Because if you run into threes, that's the magic number I recommend all people pay attention to. On the third try, if it's still not working, that's spirit talking to you. That's them telling you, back off. But it's up to you if you want to keep it. Now, the high-end Cancers, your family life should be really good right now. You should be in possibly reviewing how to make some improvements. I've already told you guys you should be doing something at home to expand. On the low-end Cancers, you know, you could get caught up in unnecessary bullshit real easy. Get rich quick schemes, people trying to get you to invest money and you got questions. I mean, this is a time for you to review. Please just don't say yes. Just as a side note for everybody, please try not to sign long-term agreements during this retrograde. I can guarantee you there will be some misunderstanding. There will be something in that contract that does not make sense. And later on, you'll be kicking your own ass. So that's just FYI. So Cancers, the high end, take care of home. No travel could be challenging. Low end, you know, it's time for you to get definitions. Do your research before you commit, and please don't sign anything without at least looking at it over. 3 different people look it over. Okay. Now going into Leo, Leo, you got a lot of deep intimacy issues coming up. Yeah, it's like it's time for you to reevaluate your partnership and the debt that you're incurring. Because on the high end, Leo can do a lot. They're a fixed fire sign. They're the only fixed fire sign. They have the ability to be larger than life. People actually think you guys are charming, and you rule theater. I mean, you're natural actors, but you may not be getting the attention that you so desperately want. You may be having some issues connecting with the people that you care for, or the audience or the stage that you want to be at. This is a time for you, Leo, to start looking at who are you bonding with there? Who are you connecting with? Because on the high end, yes, you could overcome this intimacy challenge, because it's not sexual intimacy, it's intimacy with the people that you want to grow with. Okay. And that could be a romantic thing, but I'm just speaking in general right now. Okay. And on a high end, if you make some effort to really connect with them and figure out your place with them and how you exchange energies, you can see some major breakthroughs going into June and July. Because when Jupiter moves into Leo, you'll be ready to take off, right? Now, on the low end, if you are having issues that you cannot, handle on your own, please get help. There's a lot of stuff online. You can get help. Go to your doctor, go to your local clergy, but do not feel that you're alone. Okay. You can even hit us at Candles by Ari. We have books, services, all kinds of good stuff. But you do need to look at your intimacy. That's going to be your biggest thing during this retrograde. Okay, Leo, because it's time for you to really sit down and think about what do I need? What am I trying to have? Am I bringing in people of quality that really care for me, or am I just, having people that are telling me what I want to hear? It's a very deep question. So really sit with that, Leo, and let that permeate. Now, for my Virgos, I have some Virgo friends, and they always get mad at me when I say this, but for Virgo, it's going to be about relationships and the hiccups, and you may have some exes pop back up. I know. That's always fun, isn't it? Yeah. Well, you may have some exes that you thought were really cool, but you're really done with, and you don't need to prove anything. They may come back, tap you on your shoulder, and go, "Hi, I'm such and such from 2018. How you doing?" Right now, in a high regard, if you are a Virgo that happens to be blessed in a relationship, then you and your partner may reconnect on some old things that you haven't done in a while. Maybe when you were dating, let's just say you did archery, you guys may want to go someplace and do some archery, and or possibly just go out and enjoy nature. Okay, now on the low end, if you haven't resolved issues, right, you guys still debating, fighting, arguing, debating, however you want to say it, this is going to be a good time for you to get to the nitties and the gritties as to why. Okay, because the low end needs to know why. That's my recommendation. Now, it ain't easy getting to why when you're upset. Just for food for thought. And when we're emotional, which this position and Mercury's going to make us be, you may have to calm yourself before you step to someone else. All right, you may have to actually sit and think about, what am I saying and to whom am I saying it to? Hold on, gotta get my water. I hope you guys are drinking your water. This stuff can save your life. Just staying hydrated is so important. Okay. So, Leo, it's just a time, excuse me, Virgo. Virgo? Yeah. It's just a time for you to think about what you've learned, especially if you're a high regarded Virgo, and continue to go. If you happen to be on the other side, then here's a chance for you to figure out, what am I doing and why? What is my contribution to the situation, and how can I make it a better choice for me? All right, that's what I recommend for my Virgos, because this is also going to hit you hard because it's in your opposite sign, Pisces. So all your logical Virgo stuff is going out the window because the intuitive side is going to kick in, and you may or may not like that. Okay, Virgie? So just keep that in mind. Hey, how you doing? Doing a test right now. I just want to say hello. Oh, well, thank you. Appreciate you stopping by. Thank you. Love you. Mwah. All right, now going into Libra. With Libra, I know how much you love balance. Okay, you came down for balance. You want to stay in a balanced mental stage, and this retrograde is not going to give that to you. I see missing communications at work, on the high level. If you are efficient with keeping notes and or keeping up with your paperwork, you should be fine. But there will be misunderstandings, there will be miscommunications, and possible disruptions at work. Just straight out, computer goes down. Somebody put the wrong data in. It'll get really, really, really interesting. Okay, so keep that in mind, Libra, moving forward, because that communications is designed to give you a chance to take a mental break. Okay, now that's on the high end. On the low end, these disruptions could make you reevaluate how you're being treated, especially by your intimate circle. Talking family, close friends, because you've maybe wanted to do a lot more, but I just see your health possibly being disrupted if you do not stop and evaluate what's happening to you. So, on a high regard, as long as you keep your notes together and you spend time really thinking through, and even when things are going south, because there will be communications issues, guys. It just is. I mean, literally, the actual computer itself may just go kapoo for a minute. And if you're relying on AI, keep it simple, keep it simple, keep it simple. I'm telling you, AI is going to have some challenges because it can only do so goddamn much. And when you're dealing with a water sign and an air sign, it's guaranteed to keep things a little bit confusing. It's a little bit. So, Libra, just keep that in mind and don't take it personal. This is not personally designed to kick your ass. It's just your sign right now needs to evaluate, and these disruptions are giving you a chance to do so. Okay. All right. Now, Scorpio. Now, Pluto has been sitting in Aquarius. So, all of my Scorpios have been feeling all this like intellectual, fiery energy and just because, it's two fixed signs. Aquarius is fixed, and Pluto rules Scorpio, which is also fixed. Right now, you're going to be feeling a little blockage, okay? Because that air side of Aquarius wants to get a definitive answer, and the Scorpio side is going to be doing a lot of digging. So you may be blocked from being creative, and your past romances and hobbies may come back to visit you, especially with the romantic part, because Scorpio tends to kind of leave lovers when they've been emotionally wrong. I mean, you guys will shut down and run like the fuck away from it, like bye. So when I see this configuration with all the Pisces with the Sun, Mercury, Venus, Jupiter being in Cancer, and then Pluto being in Aquarius, it's gonna make you have to deal with the emotional blockage. And for Scorpio, that's deep. Now, on the high end, if you have your spiritual tools, you're meditating, visiting your churches, communing with people, having that earth connection, you'll be fine. On the low end, Scorpio can go into deep, dark places where they feel unloved. And all of this could be more conjured up in your mind than actually happening to you. All right. So, Scorpio, please try to make sure there is a mental break for you, someplace where you can go, give energy, just totally step away from yourself for at least a couple of hours, because that's going to give you a chance to breathe. All right. Now, meditation, I suggest to everybody just some deep breathing, just relaxing for a moment and just centering yourself and giving spirit a chance to work in and through you. Okay? Because Scorpio, you are one of the strongest signs, but you're also the most vulnerable. So please keep that in mind and don't be dismissive if you have to cry. All right? And this goes for everybody. If you find yourself in a position where you just need to have a good cry, do so. There is nothing wrong with that. It is cathartic. It is good for your body. It's good for your mind. And you release all that tension because it's going to go somewhere, guys. And you don't want it stuck in your body. Okay? All right. Now for my Sages. Now, Sag, y'all been very emotional this year. Jupiter has been sitting in Cancer, which is a great position, but your emotions are just shot to shit. I mean, you are so sensitive and so just everything gets on your nerves. I mean, it's not a bad thing, but your psychic ability should have been extra sharp. Now, Sag is also a mutable sign. Okay, so this particular configuration with Pisces is going to make you be more homey. Okay, it's going to make you want to be around more friends. It's going to make you want to nuzzle up. You may find yourself having some domestic disruptions that you really need to address, like the gardener not coming in on schedule, or there's some issues with some plumbing and or some appliances. This is the time, Sag, to spend the time researching and figuring out what you want to do with it. On a high end, your intuition is very sharp if you trust it. On the low end, you can make yourself crazy picking up on too many frequencies and not tuning them out. Okay, just taking a hot bath, watching a silly movie, giving yourself permission not to try to figure everything out. Yeah, because Rome was not built in a day. If you ever look at the Colosseum, it took them 30 years to make that bad boy. People that started making it didn't even get it see finished. So remember that. This is a marathon, not a jogging session. So pace yourself. Okay, Sag? Now, Capricorn. Man, you're gonna love this Capricorn because y'all gonna be dealing with technical difficulties. Yeah, yeah. And possibly disruptions with your neighbors, family, and or friends because Saturn just went into Aries. Remember, Saturn rules your planet, taskmaster. It's in Aries. It wants to do something. It wants to start something. It wants a resolution. And that is not what this retrograde is going to give you. So, on a high end Capricorn, just note that you will be challenged, especially in a work environment, because there will be technical challenges, which will make you piss, which will make you Okay. There may be some issues with your neighbors. That's pretty normal. And if your appliances are acting up, please take the time to figure out why and or leave them alone. Now that's on the high regard. On the low regard, because of the disruptions, don't catch a case. Okay, Capricorn. I mean, because literally you may find yourself getting so frustrated that you, on a low end, start making some really freaking low choices. Okay, because you're pissed. So all you want is resolution. And that Aries energy makes you impulsive. Now, I told you at the beginning, Aries needs to work on their own self and their own internal dialogue. So you both are on the same frequency right now, except yours is dealing with your physical world. Keep that in mind. All right, because both the Capricorn and Saturn, that's real Saturn, and Aries are cardinal. Cardinal means you don't stop. You just keep going and going and going and going and going and going till you can make yourself nuts. So pace yourself. Okay, Cap? All right, now Aquarius, it's time for you to revisit your budgets, especially your long-term projects that you're working on. It's like so imperative right now that you understand your workflow and your budgetary needs. All right. Now, on a high end, if you have a goal, aspiration, Aquarius, that you've been working on, you should see a clear path. But I tell you now, you still could make some basic mistakes. So double check your numbers, go over your numbers, and spend some time with your numbers. Um, on the low end, Aquarius, just not thinking clearly, being impulsive, buying something on some emotional gratification could lead you to some financial challenges. Like you may find yourself in the hole simply because you just miscalculated, that kind of thing. It's not a bad thing, but it's frustrating. And that's why I'm asking you for this next 3 weeks, high or low Aquarius, is just to take your time on the financial and really look at your budgets and be realistic and make changes as needed. Nothing says you have to stay in one spot permanently. Okay. Now for Pisces, Pisces. Well, this is major transformational energy for you right now, Pisces. Your identity, your actual look, you're rebranding yourself. You're actually coming up with new goals and new aspirations on the high end. And you're going to receive the blessings from that if you can be honest with yourself and don't deke around. This is not a time for you to go find some distraction, Pisces, or stay in your house and not go anywhere because the world is your oyster. Remember, we talked about all the fishes in the sea, but you got to go identify with what kind of fish are you. And romance is high this year for Pisces. See, for the last 7 to 8 years, we've had some Neptune in some Aries and some Neptune in some other situations that have not been very good for Piscean energy. It was just the houses they were going through. I'm not going to bore you with all the details, but basically you would get money and then you have to spend the exact same amount. Or you would try to get ahead on some projects and it just seemed like everything always was against you. But it was supposed to be that way to make you spiritually resourceful. Yeah. Because every time you had a challenge, Pisces, somehow, some way, things worked themselves out. Did it not? Mm-hmm. So obviously, you're spiritually connected and divinely blessed. This retrograde is for you to rebrand yourself and double down on the things that are working. And the things that are not working, this is for my high end Pisceans, you have the chance to revisit what is it about it, the situation that's not working to your advantage. What is it that you're doing or not doing that is sending you into this direction? This is your opportunity, Pisces. This is your like calling right now because it's hitting directly into your sun sign. Now, on the low end, let's just say you're a low end Pisces, this can be very challenging because you have to deal with self. So if you have a really, like, say, nasty disposition and you see things always just going wrong, that's how you're going to see this retrograde. And the universe is going to give you exactly what you see. So you'll get more of the same. Now, to see something positive requires you to think positive and to put positive things around you and to eat right and to sleep right and to drink your water. Take a sip while we're talking. And another thing I would suggest to Piscean is if you can't handle the social media stuff that's going on, hey, this event, don't listen to it, don't watch it. You do not have to make yourself crazy right now, or crazier, because everybody has an opinion, just like everybody has an asshole. Okay. It's just what it is. You can decide if you're going to accept it as a truth or if you're going to dismiss it. Now, I'm not saying live in your own bubble and don't pay attention to facts, figures, and what's happening in our community. What I'm saying is do not let yourself get so caught up on the outside world that you're not taking your blessings from what's happening right here and right now. Okay. Stay in your body, stay present, be thankful, and stay in gratitude. I can't tell you how much gratitude goes so far. Now, that's just an overall view, just my take for the next couple of weeks with this retrograde. You want more details? Join my GAP program. The intro is $9.99. It's $29.99 a month. It gets you in the door with Candles by Ari. You get into my ecosystem, and I got a lot of good stuff for my people because people that work with me improve. They get better because it's an energy flow. We're safe people, okay? Even if we're in disagreement, we don't let us become disarrayed, if you know what I mean. So join it, okay? We have meditation classes twice a month, and the people that I have worked with have seen major improvements in their disposition. They move to better places. They find better jobs. They find better mates. You know, they just make improvements because they're ready to receive those improvements instead of sticking with what doesn't work. All right, because that's always easy. You can bitch about it, but you stay about it. Okay. Remember, how we do anything is how we do everything. So learning to affirm, which is one of my specialties, is very, very, very important. Your words are like seeds, right? And whatever you put out there, whatever you plant on that seed, you will make grow. So if you're derogatory or just hell-bent on being unhappy, you're going to find a way to stay there. You are, especially during this retrograde, because it's water. Water is so emotional. It's so unpredictable, but it's also extremely spiritual. It gives you credence to connect maybe with some religious things that you've forgotten. Happy Ramadan, by the way. We got Easter coming up for Christianity. Just we have so many ways to connect, but it's up to you and your soul's journey as to what works for you. And that's the beautiful part. Positive energy does not seek or demand. It doesn't look for negativity. And really, if you're really cool with yourself, you don't even entertain it. Somebody can have a completely different opinion, and you're like, okay. Because it's not your job to govern someone else. It's not your job to tell somebody else what to do. Now, if you're in a group setting and something doesn't feel right, you have the right to your opinion and stand your ground. If they respect you, it will not grow and escalate into stupidity. If it does, then you don't have boundaries. You're not, it's not a balanced situation. So keep that in mind. But true power, guys, does not seek or demand. It doesn't even say anything. It just walks in the room and we look at it. Because we know that there's something special going on there. Now, on the other side, low end, this is for everybody. People do get jealous of positive people. Okay. And negativity tends to want to suck positivity into its darkness because it ain't got nothing to do but be dark. They lie, they cheat, they misrepresent. It's intentional. It's done with malice. And I'm just saying to good people, please keep that in mind. You know, I had a demon knock at my door this week, and it was somebody's family member who came over and was very demanding and very hostile. I didn't let him in. Now, the person got upset because they were trying to force their way, but my spirit told me they were up to no good, that that soul was evil and putrid. And they were just angry as fucking Dickens. I had nothing to do with their anger, but they wanted to come in to leave it here in my home. And that's what I'm saying. You can't have that. You have to have places of peace, safety, positivity, and not making yourself nuts because you don't know what's going to happen next. Okay? So with this Piscean energy, and I'm talking as a sun sign Pisces, go with your first impression. You don't have to debate anybody. You don't have to argue with anybody. But if spirit is giving you that inclination, just try it. Worst case, it may lead you into another direction that you haven't even considered. Probably better, because 9 times out of 10, the universe knows better than us. And that 1% that we know is just luck, that we had options and we exercised them. But if you're praying for change and you're affirming for things to get better, then you have to give openings for them to get better. And change is a part of that. Something else has got to go for something else to come in. Now, I offer a lot on my website, candlesbyari.com. And the stuff we do there is, in my opinion, amazing. And if you need a one-on-one session with me, I do offer those. I do read a whole natal chart, and I'm working on different programs. So it can be from people that just want to step in and get to know me through the gap, all the way to the top where the VIPs have that access on a weekly basis, the open doors, the meditations, the candles, the whole customization, because I know how important it is to have that consistency. I know because I have to do it for myself. Okay. And as I said, I'm working on my ebook, which I'm very excited about because it gives you guys a chance to see my style, my recommendations, and things that I have seen work over the period of my time here on Earth. So Mercury is in retro. I am completely feeling it. I'm doing my best to keep my balance, making sure I'm sleeping, making sure I'm eating right. And more importantly, just make sure I do my mental exercises to stay in a frame of clarity. Just clarity. Mercury in Pisces can be very foggy, but at the same time, those fishes, especially if you use the salmon fish, for example, salmon swim upstream to lay their eggs. So as the children develop, they naturally flow downstream. So by the time they get downstream, they're strong enough to swim on their own. Do you know what strength it takes for a fish to swim upstream pregnant to deliver what she needs to deliver and allow that to manifest? That's some endurance right there. And remember, we're in a marathon. This is not a short-term race. This is 3.5 weeks. Oh, and we got a little kicker. And I'll talk more about this in my free report, because at some point, Mercury will move into another sign while the retrograde is going. As the dial continues, remember I tell you, there's a dial that's constantly shifting. And as long as you know it's about to happen, you can kind of get prepared. Because after we leave Pisces, we're going to go into Aries. Yay. And the sun will probably be in Aries at that time too. Just for shits and giggles, probably. Yeah. So, how are you feeling out there? Am I making sense? Give me a thumbs up if this is coming clear. And you can leave a thumbs up on the recording, because I know you guys sometimes wait and listen to my re-recording of this. Now, as a last footnote, on the day-to-day basis, I'm going to be giving themes away, like Manifestation Monday, Transformational Tuesday, Wishful Wednesday. Today is Thankful Thursday. So I am going to do a little short about being thankful. And of course, I'm also going to do a short on Mercury Retrograde. And tomorrow is going to be Faithful Friday. And on Saturdays and Sundays, I try to leave positive recaps or some of my cooking, because I love to cook. It's just something I've always enjoyed. My biggest dream is to get a bigger kitchen, because then I can have my little stations, and then I'll lose my mind. Then people are going to be over there eating, because I don't want to eat all the food. I just want to cook all the food. So look for that. I appreciate you guys' support so much. You have no idea. I am on IG, I'm on Twitter, I'm still on Facebook. Um, Follow me, like me, leave comments. I appreciate positive feedback. And as long as it's in a loving way, I am totally with that. And folks that don't get me, it's okay. Just keep on moving. It's okay. You don't have to explain why. Just be God, be good, and good luck wherever you go. And that's the attitude you have to have moving forth, guys. You can't please everybody, and you can't make yourself crazy. And, with the love situations, I feel like everybody is trying to connect on some level. And it's time for us to just own what we need. Okay. And let's start off with, what am I bringing to the table? What do I give that's priceless and appreciated? Okay. Yeah. Thanks for the thumbs up. So you feel it. You feel me, right, Miss Yvette? So let's make a pact to try to do a little bit better next week. Please get my free report. The free astrology report for March will be up next week. We're finishing it out right now. It's on my website, candlesbyari.com. And just remember, we have meditation. I'm thinking I'm going to be doing it on the 15th and the 29th of next month, because the 8th, which I normally do the 2nd and 4th, I'm going to do the 3rd and 5th, is my birthday. So I do want to definitely celebrate my birthday. And join the gap. Like I said, the intro price is $9.99. It will make sense. It is worth it. And then bi-weekly or every 7 to 10 days, you will be getting a Zoom link. And I'm experimenting with the gap to see if the audio works. For some people have said that they would rather just hear it. So, I'm working that out. And come to meditation class. Come. And if you need a one-on-one session, please check it out at the website. I've helped hundreds of people, if not thousands of people, get on their path, find their affirmation, connect with what's going on with them. And don't forget, next month, I am going to be bringing back the color and fragrance class. It's going to be a 1-day class only. It's going to be about those power colors, those power fragrances that I know can help bring you what you're asking for. And it's a good refresher after this retrograde was over to keep you fun. I'm also going to be bringing back the manifestation boot camp. Look for that for, I think, probably late April, early May. And that's just one of those courses that just breaks down how manifestation works. We got some new notes, we got some new energy. And for those advanced students, we will have a special session just for them, because they know what to do now. We just got to get quicker, faster, better, and have more fun. Okay. So once again, thank you guys so much for hanging with me today. I appreciate it. Like, follow, share, subscribe, and just remember, you are blessed. Mwah. See you next week. Bye. What? What? I don't think it's going to let me stop. Oh, there we go. Couldn't find it. Bye.